Hello, hi. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel and today I'm excited to share with you my thoughts on the new REM Beauty Concealer, as well as a few different products from the AF94 line by Halsey that is exclusive to Walmart. So if that sounds good to you, I hope you'll stick around, hang out, and get ready with me. You guys, I could scream for joy because my new mic came in. I no longer wear a lav mic, and I think it's picking up my voice much better than what I was using before. I'm probably going to have to tweak a little bit here and there. It does make my voice sound much deeper and richer, and I'm so curious your feedback. But today's going to be a really fun video. I started off with just a little bit of the Rose Inc Skin Enhanced Luminous Tinted Serum, and I have this in the shade 010, same as the concealer, but this is all I have on my face. I did my skincare much earlier today, so this is all sunk in, including this. This has been on my skin for a little while. I just wanted to kind of even out my base because I want to rely mostly on this product for coverage. I am going to get into kind of pricing details and my thoughts around these products because I have used them a few times now. So right now we're just going to do a quick application. So I'm going to go in actually with the Rare Beauty concealer brush. I think that this would work really well with a sponge, but I prefer brushes, so that's what we're doing today. And I got the shade, I'll swatch here, Fair 6N, which on my hand looks like it might be a little dark, but it is almost a dead-on match on my face. It's a hair too dark, but I was shocked that I was that deep in the line because I think the other ones would have been far too light for me, even though I do like to brighten a little bit more than what this does in my inner corner. It still provides what I look for in concealer. So I have to admit, spoiler alert, I'm pretty happy with this product. And I am kind of excited about it, to be honest, because I have, like I said, I've worn this a couple of times. I do have some feedback, and I do think I have my head around who this would be for and who this is not for. But I really like it. And also, back to this mic thing, I'm feeling so much better since I got this mic in the mail because I have had such a terrible health time lately. Clearly, like, it makes it hard to string words together after I have that many migraine attacks in a row, and I'm just depleted of energy. I was up until 5:45 this morning and got like a couple hours of sleep in before I had to start work. And I have put in a full day of work. I just ate my dinner and now I feel so happy. I was going to come on here in my potato sweatshirt. I have a very specific sweatshirt that if I'm wearing that, please know things are not well, send help. I actually wore it in a recent video. I'll put a picture up, but that is my potato sweatshirt when I am potating, okay? And I almost could not bring myself to take the sweatshirt off, but I did change into kind of like a loungy shirt, so I don't know if it's that much more put together, but it's been rough around these parts. Okay, so I think actually, I'm going to finish up around my eyes and then I'm going to switch to a larger brush like I used yesterday when I was using this product. Again, don't come for me if the shade looks super wonky. That's another thing. I did so much research and I fixed the white balance. And I think it's looking better. I'm starting to feel a little bit better. So I'm going in with the Beautypie Seamless Foundation buffing brush just to help me blend because I typically use liquid concealers, and I'll be honest, I'm not the best at blending those all the time either if I'm in a hurry or I'm not paying attention, but potted concealers I think require a little bit more focus when blending, so this larger brush is going to help me out. And I'm not going to conceal every bit of redness on my face. I feel like it's almost counterintuitive for me to completely conceal this redness when I'm going to put blush there anyway and go fairly heavy with the blush. So we're not going to do that. I'm going to blend this a little bit more. Yeah, see, why am I so bad at blending these little corners? It's not the first time. Okay, I want to stop there because this concealer claims to be medium to full coverage, which I fully agree with. You can see that it doesn't fully cover my acne scarring, but you can build this up. I will say I'm not a huge fan of building it up on me because the shade is slightly dark, and I think it makes it more evident that it is slightly dark on my skin when I do that. But I'm going to add a touch right here because this area in between my eyebrows is where things can tend to look very cakey and makeup-y, and I was so impressed with this product. I'm going to get close. I mean, it looks like skin. And we'll get into all of the claims, but I am so far very happy with this. And this base, like for such a lightweight, coverage-wise product, I feel pretty glam right now, which is incredible. So I'm actually going to go do my brows off camera, and then we'll come back and talk AF94. All right, brows on. I just used my typical Kosas products. I now have a brow video. If you're interested in that, I will put a card up on this video. But now I'm like not sure where I want to go. I think I want to do eyes first, so let's do that. And I actually want to put a little bit of lip balm on, and I'm just using the Kinship like always. Okay, so I did not purchase every type of product from AF94. I kind of went in knowing that it's not all going to be for me, but a lot of it was. I will say it's just the shades that didn't do it for me. I did pick up an eyeliner. I wanted to kind of use the waterline trick with a light beige or a white to brighten. So I picked up their Star 69 gel liner in the shade Perfect Fit, which the naming of her line is so nostalgic if you are around Halsey's age, my age, etc. But that's a swatch of it right there. I wish it was a little bit more brightening, but I understand the need for it to not be stark white. And then I picked up 3 of the Shadowboxer eye crayons, which are Shadow Sticks. And I picked up the shade Sweet and Low, which is a very like highlighty shade. Thrift Shopper, which is a chocolate brown that has a bit of plumminess to it, and it's matte. The first one is shimmery. And then I'm so sad because the third one came all busted up and like crunched, and that's the shade that I was so excited about. It is Silent Film, and it is a deep purple, like a black pigment based purple. So there we go. We have Sweet and Low here, which is that shimmery champagne. Catches the light really nice. Then we have Thrift Shopper, which is that chocolate brown that has a bit of plumminess to it. And then we have the one I'm so excited about, and then I'm like, what is it called? Silent Film, which is that beautiful deep purple. And I was hoping that I could get like a pretty cohesive look. I think I can, because these, I'll show you on Thrift Shopper, they look like they're going to be blendable to a very satisfying degree. Like, that's gorgeous. So I think we will be able to get a look. We might have to use a pencil brush for that Silent Film because I'm so sad that it broke. Anyway, I'm going to go in with Sweet and Low first, and I am going to apply that to my inner corner here. And I'm just going to go directly on the eye, and I'm going to bring that all the way into the middle of the eyelid. But I'm going to focus building up most of the product here on this inner corner. And I am going to grab an Eco Tools brush. This is their full concealer brush, but it's just a very dense, honestly crease-shaped brush, but it is kind of flat on the top. This is a really nice brush, especially for creams. And I probably shouldn't have put that REM concealer on because it doesn't look like it's playing very nicely. Or is that just me? I think it's the way the shadows are playing on my face. I think it looks fine. But although I've tried these separately, I have not tried them all together. I did not have this issue when I was putting them on top of the Rose Ink Concealer, which is what I usually use. Why am I holding the brush like this? You guys, my brain, she's fried. She's had so many migraines in the last week that she's like, just whatever you can do. to survive. Like I said, potato. I like this. It's not like wha-bam brightening, but it's just enough for me. And I'm going to bring that down a little bit and around this tear duct area. Okay. Not mad at it. It's not like wha-pow shimmery, I think is what I'm getting at, but it's very nice. Honestly, we might try to put this on the face as a highlighter because this line does inspire play from everything that I've read. So then I'm going to go into Thrift Shopper, which these all come in this plastic component and they twist up at the bottom here. But what's really nice is, let me check before I say this for sure. Yeah, all of the branding on the package, so like the AF94 logo and then the lines here coordinate with the color that's in the tube, which I always really appreciate that. So I'm going to start this along the lash line, kind of thinner towards the center here, and then I'm going to build kind of a wing like that. And then we're going to go in with that same Eco Tools brush, and I'm just going to start to blend that out at the edges and bring it into the crease. These really do, they're one of those cream formulas that as you get it on the skin and start to blend it, you can feel that it's going to a powder, but you have plenty of time to work. And what's great about those is even after it's kind of set down, you can continue to blend. So see, I was worried that that was going to be dark, so we're actually going to continue to build that, and I'm actually just going to apply it all over the lid now that I know it's not going to overwhelm this look. I'm just going to blend that out. I really like these. So when I first opened the AF package, I was a little underwhelmed. It does feel quite chintzy. Granted, you're paying $8 per item. So you're not going to get, I mean, we know that we pay a lot for luxury packaging, but I was a little underwhelmed, and then I had to like remind myself like, okay, you need to put these on your face before you come up with kind of your final verdict. And I'm glad that I did because I needed to play with these a little bit and also keep in mind like what this brand is trying to accomplish. And that I might not necessarily be like their exact target audience, and that's totally fine. But I think I am their audience in another way because I have those two worlds that I like to play in, which is like playing with makeup and color and being a little bit more unconventional. And then I also really love beauty makeup. I love beauty makeup. There's nothing better than just feeling like totally snatched and like everything flatters your specific skin tone and everything. I love that feeling. So I kind of balance those two. And I think that you can with this line, which we'll get into that, but I was a little bit surprised. I'm going to go in now with my Nubby Silent Film, and I'm going to concentrate this closer to the lash line here. But I mean, you can see even as I'm applying this, it is a very easy look to throw together, beginner friendly because of how they blend, and they're in crayons, right? Like that's always going to lend itself to being a little bit easier to use for a lot of people. There's that with the purple lash. I'm really loving how this is turning out already. So I'm going to go in and do the same on this eye. Just draw a little eyeliner. And that's really what I wanted this deep purple for, because I have mentioned this in another video, but it's been a while. If you have green eyes or hazel eyes, purple is such a beautiful color, even like beauty makeup wise, to play with. And it is a very accessible way to do it if you already wear eyeliner, to use a deeper purple eyeliner that still gives you the definition that you're looking for at the lash line with that darker base, but then also has just a hint of purple that's going to really play off of your eyes. I'm going to go in and just clean up a little over here with that Sweet and Low champagne shade, because I blended that liner a little bit further in than I did on the other eye. And I'm actually going to hit my brow bone with that Sweet and Low shade. This is so fun. And this is such a more comfortable filming setup for me. I hope that the framing is okay. I'm going to have to play with that in the mic. We'll see. The first test that I did, this was fine, so I'm hoping that that's the case. What do you do with this? I don't want to throw it away. I wonder if I can melt it back down on that. I might try, honestly. We might try that. Maybe I'll pin a comment on how that goes. But I am really happy with this. It's just a very soft kind of smoky look. Everything blends together really well. I'm just going to clean up the edge here. I mean, I used shades that I really wanted to kind of buff in to one another. I'm going to blend that a little bit more. But I really like that. What do we think? Just this is more beauty makeup, but a little tiny bit grungy, and it has that pop of purple to play off my eyes. But I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to go put mascara and bronzer on, and then we're going to come back and test the lip and cheek product that she has, which is the Playdate Multi-Use Cheek and Lip Color. So yeah, I'll be right back. All right. Lashes always make the difference, but I loved this before lashes. It's just a really nice everyday eye look, I think, from those 3 crayons. And the crayons, I think, are $8 each, which we'll get to in the roundup. But I'm so happy with this eye look. And the bronzer I needed badly today, just to keep my spirits up. Moving into this Playdate Multi-Use Cheek and Lip Color, and I have it in the shade Soft Smile, which is just a nice kind of peachy pink rose. Pretty standard blush color, but I'm actually going to warm that up on the back of my hand and go straight on my skin because this is such an interesting formula. It goes probably more powdery than the eyeshadow does, and you have plenty of time to blend, and it blends beautifully. And this is the one that I thought, I don't know why I bought this, because I don't like cream cheek products that don't set down, but this does, and it's lovely. And that color is lovely. There are more shades that we'll get into towards the end, but I'm very tempted to now pick this up in other shades because it is such a nice formula. I usually would not trust a formula to drag directly onto my cheeks, but it's really nice. And it sets down to that powder finish, but it's still very luminous, which I very much so appreciate. And I do want to show you this on the lips because I think it's a really interesting cheek to lip formula. So a lot of these kind of cheek to lip tints are, I've talked about this before, geared better towards one or the other. They're either better on the cheek or better on the lips. That opinion for me comes from really wanting my lip products to moisturize my lips and make them better than they were before I used the product. This I actually think I would wear on my lips, so I'm just going to pick some up on my finger here. This feels completely lightweight, there's nothing on your lips, and it is kind of that silicone powdery feel, but it is perfect. If you, I need to stop talking while I'm doing this. If you like the look of, and I just smudged it while I was talking. If you like the look of a matte wash of color, almost this is a blotted lip to me, an actual blotted lip. If I applied this color lipstick and blotted it off to where it just left that little bit of stain behind, this is what I would get. And it's comfortable. Like I said, feels like nothing. Maybe a hint of oil powder, kind of that powder kiss, but very, very, very lightweight to where you don't feel it until you rub your lips together. I love that. That's such a cool thing. This is actually a product that I would for sure use in both scenarios. Okay, the next item, and the one that I was the most excited to pick up, are the Scribble Sticks Glossy Lip Crayon. And I picked up 3 colors. So the first one, which is more nude, is Keeping Secrets. And they come in, again, kind of the crayon component, but they are much smaller than the eyeshadow sticks. I don't know if that translates in product. You get 1.8 grams in the eyeshadow stick, and you get 2.5 grams in the lip balm. It's so deceiving. I guess one's probably heavier than the other two. The next, it's like a stream of consciousness sometimes. The next shade is Magick, which I was so excited about. A beautiful kind of berry shade. And then lastly, we have French Disco, which is a beautiful kind of almost black honey, but on my lips is like the quintessential 90s darker brown. I love these. I think that I will be picking up the rest of them, but let's do some lip swatches. So I'll start with the Keeping Secrets, which these you do have to sharpen. They do not twist up. And they smell like juicy fruit. It took me a while to put my finger on it, but they smell like juicy fruit, and I actually don't mind that at all. But the formula of these is even more emollient than the Beautypie lip balms that are in this kind of crayon format. Very, very creamy feeling and very kind of thick in a way that you know it's going to stay on the lips for a while. Very shiny and jutesy. If you line your lips, this is going to be a great one to make them look very pouty once you get it on kind of the outer edge of the lip line. Feels like they would be moisturizing. I would absolutely wear this in my day-to-day life. This is probably getting up there in some of my favorite lip products, especially because they are so pigmented. So like I said, this is Sweet Nectar. So this one. Next, I want to put on the French Disco, which is that quintessential 90s nude. Okay, and I should have said, this is like a very kind of like peachy beige, but I really like it. It's very nice even on my skin tone, which is lovely, and it is lighter. So if you are pale and have trouble finding nudes that are truly light enough, that one is perfect. But into French Disco, I almost feel like I need to buy this shade for my mom and my sister, because this is the shade that they wore every day in the 90s. Like almost exact. But even with that kind of chocolate brown, which I apologize, these definitely could benefit from lip liner. What is going on with my blending? You guys, this one is messy. Let me see if I can make this work. I was so ready to say like, these are the best ever. Okay, what I'm struggling with here is that this is such a deeper shade for me, in a shade that I would want to be kind of crisper in its lines. And that's hard to get with this because this one is almost like, it's got like sheerness to it. Like you can tell that this one is a bit more sheer than this. But they are kind of sheer overall, but they add enough pigment to change the shade of your lips, if that makes sense. Feels just as nice. And I think I've cleaned it up. I have a breakout, don't mind me. But obviously not with this look, but this is very 90s. If you're into that 90s look, again, I really think I'm gonna have to buy that for my mom and my sister. It's beautiful. It is definitely more brown than Black Honey on the lips, but very, very close. I would love to see a swatch comparison of the two of those. And then we'll get into my favorite shade, and then we'll move into lip gloss. Okay, this is my favorite shade, Magick. I'm having a moment with shades like this that are like in the fuchsia and purple berry family, that have a bit of warmth. What I'm noticing is, and I'm noticing it more on camera, these really like to be blended out kind of with a finger. And once you build a certain level of opacity, that is where they stay, unless they start to get kind of patchy. But they're so easy to get a precise line with the shape of the crayon, but the formula itself does not lend well to one that stays in place like that. So you know what? As we're going through this, I love this color. I will wear this color. It's gorgeous, especially if you just top. If I had a liner in this color or a lipstick, this is something I would absolutely top to make whatever I was wearing underneath more comfortable, because it is very comfortable and nourishing. But for me, I think that the nude shade is my favorite, although this color is beautiful, just because it's kind of tough for me to get with a color this intense the clean line that I want. But let's go in and see if I can maybe help it with a little liner. No, I'm not even gonna try. I think that these are better served to top something else. They do have liquid lip, but I did not purchase those because I'm not a liquid lip person. So I don't know. I will kind of sit on this and we'll come back with final thoughts while we recap. But I do want to move on because I have 2 more lip products to get through, and those are lip glosses. Okay. I am absolutely going to line my lips for these, give them lip high shine lip glosses because I chose very nudie shades, and I was praying that this would be a dupe for one of my old school MAC lip gloss favorites, and I think it is. This is very interesting, so we'll do that one first. I will line my lips for the second one. So this is in the shade Underneath It All, which always makes me want to sing Underneath It All. So as you can see here, very, very sheer baby pink, which is so fun. The applicator has this cute little kind of curve to it to hug the lip. No scent to these ones, unlike the Scribble Sticks, which I was kind of disappointed. I would almost love it if these did smell like juicy fruit. So there is that on the lips. As you can see, it's just a very kind of sheer gloss. And I will say, if you continue to build these up, you will get the stringies. But they're not meant to be worn that built up, I think. So I'm just going to remove a little bit like that. Beautifully juicy looking lips. Again, this is almost like a liquid lip balm that has a touch more stickiness to it, but in a way that tells you that it's going to stay on your lips for a long time. I really like this. As long as you don't over apply. I mean, nothing is going to knock my Fit Glow Lip Serum out from being my #1 favorite liquid lip balm and lip product, period. But this is very nice. That shade is fun. It's not quite what I wanted from that shade. I'd love it if it was like, I don't even know, a touch dustier instead of like a true baby pink, but there is a market for that. So let's go ahead and get into the second shade. Okay, moving into the last gloss I have in the shade Slam Dunk, which is this nice light peachy color. I won't say what I'm trying to dupe, but I think that this does dupe it, and that makes me happy. I'm going to be doing a video on my college favorites that I have now duped because all of those are discontinued or have been reformulated. I digress. Right here is that nice light peachy color. So again, these are sheer, more pigment, but they're like pigmented but sheer. These are just sheer colors. So I'm actually going to line my lips with the Fit Glow Beauty lip liner in nude, like so, and then I'm gonna go in with the gloss. Again, no scent, and 1 dunk is enough. I love this, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if I like it with this look. I think I'm gonna switch back into the Scribble Stick in that nude shade, and then we'll come back and wrap final thoughts. All right, much better. I like that lip a lot better with this look. There is one last thing that I want to try, and that is using that eyeshadow Shadowboxer in the shade Sweet and Low as a highlight, because it does set down, like I mentioned, and it does blend. I like that as a highlight. I really do. Even on my skin tone. That's awesome. I mean, honest to goodness, if you were in like a super flash, you could do a lot with just these 2 products. Anyway, let's go ahead. I'm going to pull up my laptop so that we can look at pricing, claims, all of that good stuff. And then we are going to say yes or no? Are these worth it? Are these worth your time and energy and money to go check out? We will answer that after the break. Okay, let's start with the REM Beauty Concealer. So first of all, this came out or was launched with 60 shades. 60 shades. 2 of those are going to be mixers. So one of them is a white mixing medium, same formula. And then the second one is a blue black that is also in that kind of use this as a mixer category. My brain, again, we're chugging along. So that leaves 58 shades. I will say, looking at the website, the first 3 lines are a good kind of fair to medium. And then the last 3 lines are medium to rich and deep. So it does seem like it's very equally balanced. She has fair, light, medium, tan, deep, and rich. There seems to be at least 3 undertones being cool, neutral, and warm for each step of those. So it's so brava, like this is where we should be at. Granted, we know that these bigger celebrity lines have the money to back them, but then where are all of the other celebrity lines that are not doing this? I'm very excited for this launch as well as the House Labs. Like, I'm here for the big shade ranges. That's what it's about, you know? And the fact that I am 6 in, it is very seldom that I am not the lightest shade. And I know that I'm very fair complected, but I know people who are fairer than I am. But it's so nice. I will say the neutral 6 in that I picked up in light does tend to lean a little bit almost pink orange. So keep that in mind. I don't know if that's going to be across the board. I would go to your local Ulta and swatch in person if you get a chance. I did. I'm glad I did because I was about to order something that probably would have looked like I bought the white mixing shade and used it on my face. They call out that this is medium to full coverage. It is a multitasking concealer that builds to customizable coverage. So I highly agree with that. It does go on very medium. You can build it, but even down here, I'm still not getting full coverage. But a lot of that is because I don't want it to look super makeup-y on the skin. And that brings me into the next thing I want to talk about, which is this is currently $24. Ulta is doing a deal right now where if you buy a concealer, you get a free sponge from the brand that looks like it's designed to fit perfectly in this pot. I'll pop a picture up on the screen. I was not able to get my hands on that because my store sold out of them. But if that's still going on, look into that. However, $24 and you get 0.28 ounces. The closest thing that I could compare this to is going to be the Nars Soft Matte Complete Concealer that's in the pot. I cannot believe I remember that name. It is slightly less product. It is like 0.21 ounces and it's $30. So if you are a big fan of that, or you are a fan of that, but it tends to be slightly dry on your skin, I would highly check this out. It reminds me of that, and it has kind of that powdery feel when you put it on your skin and kind of blend over it. However, this is more emollient to me, and this does not pick up on the flakes and the dry patches that I have and the texture as much as the Nars. And so I really appreciate that. It also sits very nicely and just looks like skin. You can tell that there is kind of an emollient makeup product on your skin. It doesn't sink into the skin. It somewhat sits on top, but not in a bad way, in a very skin-like way. I'm so impressed with this. Most emollient products or products that say that they are more matte do not look like skin like that for me. So I'm over the moon. The only thing is the last few days that I've been wearing this, I have been wearing a very, very dewy emollient base underneath. And I noticed that in this area beside my nose, I was getting that thing where all the pigment kind of falls into your pores and you have speckles. But that was happening hours after application. So I'm going to see if this kind of more matte base, because I'm never going to do all matte, this more matte base helps with that. I will leave a pinned comment down below, but for $24, this is a phenomenal product. I'm so happy to recommend it because this is the first thing in REM Beauty's line that I have even been interested in going and swatching. I'm glad that the packaging is very chic. It's just a nice frosted glass bottom with a plastic top. I get what she's going for. It's just not my gig. I'm just so happy with that. And for $24, slightly less than the Nars, but I think the formula is better. So that's my thoughts on that. Moving into AF94. So I have the website pulled up here. Let's go in with the eyeliner, even though I did not use that today. These Star 69 gel liners are $8. Come in, 2, 4, 6, 8 different shades. You've got white, a couple of blacks, green, blue, orange, and yellow. And then the beige. I do not think, just playing around with this, that it's the best eyeliner. I have tried to put it in my waterline and it doesn't like to be on that kind of like wet rim of your eye. So I don't know, but I've seen a lot of people create good looks with these outside of the waterline. I think this is just a no from me, but if you want to play with brighter shades and you only want to spend $8, I think it's, good in that way. And that is kind of the purpose of the brand. So I'll back up and say the AF94 is Halsey's brand that is exclusive to Walmart. Everything is under $10 and it's meant to be an accessible way for people to play with makeup. So you're not spending $30 on a bright green eyeliner that you don't even know that you're going to wear every day. And I love that. I love that concept. But I think the eyeliner is a pass for me. But if you want to dabble in bright shades for little cost, I think it's a doable one. The Playdate Multi-Use Cheek and Lip Color, this is what surprised me the most. I was not anticipating liking this. It is $9. You get 0.28 ounces or 8 grams. It comes in 5 shades. There is a purpley shade that I'm definitely into, and I might even swap the Danessa Myricks Vision Color in the coral shade that we talked about on my channel. Come on, get with it, Rachel. I actually might go with the coral that is in this formula. I like this formula better because it does set down, still looks dewy, adds color, but it's $9 instead of the, $18, $20 that I would be spending on a coral shade that I'm only wearing really in the spring and summer. So I'm really happy with this. I do want to check out more shades. There is a bronzery type shade, but the swatch online looked kind of scary. But I might go into my local Walmart and swatch the others. But I do highly recommend that, especially if you are a beginner into cream blush. That formula is phenomenal. The next is the Shadowboxer pencils. I really like these. They dry down matte, they don't crease, and you can get a very soft kind of like everyday look out of these, but you can also really, build these up and let them set down to be super pigmented. So like, for example, this brown shade that is Thrift Shopper, that's what I have in my crease. And that is so nice that there's flexibility to be that stark versus that blown out. So I highly recommend these, especially at $8. They have 10 shades, and I am not typically a crayon kind of girl, but after trying the Beautypie one and then this, if you do not have a Beautypie membership and you're jealous that people can spend less on these types of shadow sticks, please check out AF94. Love it. I will be picking up more shades in that as well. Next is the Scribble Sticks. I am so torn on these because I love how they feel and I love how they smell. That's how I smell my lip chap. I do. I love how they feel and smell. Like even my lips, who are just dry all the time, feel better just since sitting down and swatching these things on my lips, because this nude shade I will recommend. This nude shade is phenomenal. These more pigmented shades, I need to play around with the formula more. It's almost like the formula does not want to be like a clean lip line. It wants to be kind of those messy ombre lips. And if you're into that, I would highly recommend these, especially for $8. But I'm torn. I love this shade. It is a stunning shade. However, I don't know if I want it in that formula anymore. But the jury's out. I think based on the information I shared, make the decision for you. For $8, you can experiment a little bit. But yeah, I don't know where I land with those. It's the only one I'm not sure about. Then lastly, we have the Give 'em Lip lip gloss that I showed you in the 2 shades. They have 6 shades in these. They also have a clear. I dig these. Like, I like these. I think that this is a dupe for a shade that I've been looking for. I love this kind of shade. I think Hannah Louise Poston would love this shade. It's not quite as gray, I think, as she likes, but I think that this would look phenomenal on her. Yeah, I would recommend those. $8 for these lip glosses. They also have a coral and a red, another nude. They have one called Star 67, which, like, the nostalgia too in this brand. I am happier with this brand than I thought I would. And I did kind of, like, you know, scoff at the packaging, but I actually don't mind it because it's in a lot of this pencil form, and there's a lot to be said for being accessible, especially in the world today. So I'm very, very happy that she did this. And I am excited to see what else the brand comes out with. The only thing that I'll mention that is super picky, it was in that kind of like cellophane wrap or plastic cling wrap. It took me like 2 different sessions to get through the packaging to show you, and a lot of the caps still have some of that on there. So I love it from a non-tampering perspective, but kind of cumbersome to remove. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Honestly, I am really happy with how this turned out. Love how the concealer sits on my skin. Love the eyeshadows. The lip products kind of hit or miss, almost depending on shade. But yeah, I'm so happy, and I have a mic, and I think that this is going to turn out so much easier. I'm not like wired to my camera anymore. Let me know if the audio is better. Let me know if you have tried the REM concealer or AF94, or if you have any questions about those products or other products that you would like to see on my channel. Leave them down below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. This was the mood boost I needed. I hope it does the same for you, and I hope that you have a loving and caring day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.